Morning. It is 7:25 a.m. and it is February the 24th. I'm up really early this morning because I have a lesson to do via Zoom on kindness to some Ugandan children that I learned through the volunteer program of Switchboard online. So I've been in touch to connect with someone over in Uganda, and I'm doing a lesson on kindness for some children over there. The reason why I'm on this morning is because I was given permission from the Daily Bread Food Bank that Sandra Long, because of the microphone in my ear also, and the Toronto Regional Police, they didn't give me permission, but anyways, Sandra Long has performed another heist that they like to call over there. She actually, what had happened and this is all pending investigations, so I will say that there are pending investigations. Alison Gibbons, under her name, rented a black truck, pickup truck from a budget rental car over by Meadowvale Town Centre and Town Line, around that area. And what I'm speaking about, I'm hearing through the microphone over that I get in my ear that Sandra Long and Jonas Regato had put in my ear, not my ear it's in my ear canal. And I think I spoke about before that it has, I have to go to the Ontario unit over at St. Joseph's Hospital, where Sandra Long has already called and said that I was lying and to try and speak to somebody about me not having a referral over there to have it removed. So what has happened is that they, over at Daily Bread Food Bank, Jeffrey Wong flipped a switch, and the switch he flipped did not fail to turn off all the cameras. Or they shut off the surveillance cameras in the Wickham Centre. The surveillance camera picked her up in the production hall, going through some menstrual products and some diapers and things like that, as well as going through the box of medication. Sandra Long also spoke to Alison Gibbons and Jeffrey Wong about how time to get Michelle back into food sorting. And Jeffrey Wong was yelling at Sandra Long because he said, "You told me that this was legal." And that a trespassing notice is not legal. Sandra Long also proceeded to go to Gate 2, where she parked a black pickup truck and loaded up 7,000 pounds of food. Meat, actually, frozen meats. And I heard over the microphone and the camera that she did take some desserts as well from the kitchen, and she proceeded to come over here and with her pickup truck after she had gone to Gate 2, and she gave some money to a tenant. Once again, I am going to say she was my former roommate. Gave her $1,100, who some tenants and neighbors in the other building actually called the police because she's been walking around naked in the building, feeling that it's her right to walk around naked. She does have been diagnosed with a mental issue. She spent some time in a rehabilitation facility. So she is actually been diagnosed with a mental issue, and she is a crack addict as well. And so anyways, Sandra Long gave her some money and opened the back of the truck, and these individuals who are neighbors saw the labels with boxes of Daily Bread Food Bank labels that had clearly labeled on the boxes that said frozen meat with the logo Daily Bread Food Bank. She deposited a grocery bag, a Food Basics grocery bag, actually, of desserts in the parking lot, and gave this young girl some money. Alula became familiar with her by Melanie Regato, who sought her out to give her lies about me. Now, this all seems a little bit, where are you going with this? This is totally, like she's really gone off the rocker because she feels like everybody's against her. Well, no, I know that not everybody's against me. I have a strong community of people who know me, a strong community of people who like me. Toronto Regional Police had actually had actually been here and took the statement and of what has happened from the neighbors and what the neighbors saw and took pictures. So the neighbor also took pictures, which was fine. And the police came and were able to take pictures. The other thing too is that Sandra Long came back. Now I heard this from the microphone, and Sandra Long came back with her couple of bags of desserts as well as the frozen meat. And as they were going through the frozen meat, I could hear them say, "Oh, pork shoulder," and imagine, see what they give, what they donate and all the food. And this is frozen fish. I can't believe this. And oh, is this beef? I don't know what this is. And this is desserts here. Why would these be 30% off? And Melanie Regato, I don't like menstrual products, so I'm not taking these donated menstrual products. So that was being spoken about. They're over now. The police met Mr. Hetherington and the security team over at the Daily Bread Food Bank, as well as the operations manager and other senior staff who are involved in production operations and over at the warehouse. So they are going through the cameras are going through the officers are going through the surveillance cameras now. They're waiting for Jeffrey Wong and Allison Gibbons to come in today. Long night for those two if they were just there a couple of hours ago. I was asked to make a statement, and this is a statement. Again, this is all pending, as well as I do know that I've been asked to actually, have I ever thought of formally going down to 23rd Division and charging Sandra Long? I said, actually, every time I speak to a police officer, I've been berated, I've been made fun of, and they said, but now that you have concrete evidence, this is through a mutual friend, that you have concrete evidence, such as my old hearing aids that have the microphone in them, and I have my old glasses that have the camera. I have my old hearing aid charger, which has a camera. So that's concrete evidence. I call it my $3 million envelope because there's a lot of evidence in there, concrete evidence. And then also, for those of you who do know anybody that attends Guest Fire Toronto, I became aware that apparently there is a microphone on my laptop somewhere, but I will be logging on, and they won't shut the microphone down, right? So they refuse to shut it down, or they can't shut it down. So it actually goes to the PA system in the auditorium and in the office. So when I speak, that's where they hear. So on Sunday morning, I've been praying about it, and our Heavenly Father has spoken to me and says to speak, and to keep speaking, and to keep speaking. And what will end up happening, like last week, okay, Jonas Regato said that he saw me at 4 p.m. He wanted me charged with trespassing because he saw me at 272 Atwell. I haven't been to 272 Atwell in, I would say, over a year now. I used to go down to own the church since 2023, so that's 3 years. I used to go down there and exercise my authority, not of my authority, but I could go down there and go down to walk down the street and that. But that was a public thing that I did that because it was just something I felt like I had to do, so people knew who I was. When the Beige and Black movement started to take effect, started to grow and grow and grow, I felt like I needed to go down there. And that was told by our Heavenly Father for me to go down there, not by Duncan Smith or anybody like that. So it is important that you know that Sandra Long also put a wig on. It was a brown wig that she received with a black hair clip. However, my wig, because I washed it, and the dye, this used to be my blue wig, so I washed it, and the dye's starting to come out. So it is actually, it's kind of like a silvery brown, which is, everybody says, Michelle, you're 56 years old, so it's okay that it's silvery brown. And there's no blue showing, but it's silvery brown, and it's getting like a little bit thin on top. So that's that like right up here. It's getting a little bit thin, so that's partially why I put it up. And also people think it looks nice. I think it looks nice too. But she also went down to Christchurch on Park Lawn. The food pantry there is where I will be going to access food. They're allowing me to access food once until I get back into Daily Bread Food Bank, because they can't accommodate me any other time, because they have a client base of 1,700 adults with 660 children. So they won't be able to accommodate me, knowing that I'm just around the corner from Daily Bread Food Bank. But Sandra Long did go down there with a blonde wig, with a brown wig like this, and a lavender coat or a brown coat or something similar to my brown winter coat, which I no longer will wear, and tried to break in to Christchurch at Park Lawn. They are calling down there, and they're going to speak to people down there. So once again, the allegations, these are pending investigation as to what happened this morning. But I have it on pretty good authority because of not only my connections over at Daily Bread, but also with the microphone that John Segato and Sandra Long had put in. They didn't have it put in my ear canal, but it was thrown on my pillows, and that's how it ended up in my ear canal. I slept on it, and it ended up right down my ear. But anyways, so now Sandra Long, basically, you're done for. And that's not a threat. That's the truth.